A worldwide epidemic of type 2 diabetes. Scary. Look at this. This is what we see happening. Africa, the first one you see there to the left. And then we go to Western Pacific, is even actually worse than North America and Europe. Why? Now here we're going to tell you that plant-based are not always great. Sure, eating pork and eating fish and eating chicken and eating all horribly bad, but taking palm oils, coconut oils, palm oils in high amounts, that's how they're getting diabetes, by the way, in the Western Pacific, also give you diabetes. Because saturated fat at extremely high levels, especially the way they choose to eat it, cooked, all of you like that Thai cooked coconut, well, you must also like diabetes and heart disease and cancer because you'll get it from cooked saturated fat. Even they get it. But this is stunning. We're talking about the trends we see moving forward. And if you think that cancer is an epidemic, well, it is. But another epidemic that's equaling cancer at this point is diabetes, and it will supersede cancer if we don't put a halt to it. Here's an example of somebody that came to us. Once changing lifestyle, Jack was able to completely eliminate insulin use in 3 days. Now, this is an exception. For decades, he's on insulin, and he comes off it in 3 days. What did this mean? He really didn't need the insulin. You don't come off insulin in 3 days if you weren't taking insulin unnecessarily. But again, when the poor doctor sees a person like this, they only have one thing they can tell them. They don't say, go home and get rid of fats, go home and get rid of sugar. They say, hey, you have low blood sugar or high blood sugar, and my remedy for that is medicine. So you can't fault anyone for that. That's what they know. But the fact of the matter is, 3 days he's off it. He also lost 60 pounds and dismissed all diabetic medicines, stomach medication, and high blood pressure medicine. Now, you need to do this with the care of a conscious doctor. Now, that may be an oxymoron, but again, you need to find some of these lifestyle doctors. Again, around the world, these more and more and more of these lifestyle medical doctors. You don't just say, okay, I'm going to do this. Because, by the way, if you, don't get monitored and you have such a rapid shift in your health, it could be dangerous for you. No, we have a medical team that does this at Hippocrates. Look at this guy. Diabetes type 2. June 11. Severe chest pains, shortness of breath, dizziness, partial paralysis and facial muscle, and extreme tingling in arms and legs. Lost 25 pounds, eliminates prescription medicine, normalizes blood pressure and blood sugar. If this is happening, if it happened to one person, forget, let me put it in perspective. I've never worked with a type 2 diabetic, our medical team, that isn't able to eliminate type 2 diabetes. So let me repeat that to you. There's no such thing as a disease called type 2 diabetes. There is a choice. My lifestyle, I will not change, will create type 2 diabetes. I will change my lifestyle. I don't want type 2 diabetes. You have a choice. Either that person, I'm stubborn, I've gone to the world's leading diabetic doctors who told me this is a chronic disease and you'll never get well. Go ahead, knock yourself out. If that's your badge of honor, go ahead and be that your badge of honor. Or, I'm going to take responsibility and I can eliminate this non-disease. So look at this, the trends we see here. 1997, 2011, that short period, look at how it's moving. Coronary heart disease, other forms of heart disease, strokes, heart disease and stroke. That's a very short period of time. You're talking about a 12-year period between that. And look at it's all moving forward. Now, wouldn't you think, with the amount of money and the amount of health care that's available worldwide, and wouldn't you think that when in countries in Europe where most of the budget they have goes to health care in these countries, that we would be making headway? Wouldn't you think that in America, where we spend at least 2 times more and usually up to 3 times more on health care than any other country, we would lead the world on helping to reverse and prevent these diseases? Wouldn't you think when you throw money at something it works? No, because money doesn't make things change. You make things change. There has never been any movement in human history that ever happened from government or institution downward that has stuck and made a difference. Every significant movement started with people, you, upward. The changes come from individuals, they don't come from institutions. And so, you want changes to happen, don't sit here and cheer for what I say and get enthusiastic. Stand up and do the right thing, be an example, and lead by example. That's how you change. And find friends that do this. How I was able to stick to this, I didn't want to do this at the beginning, is hang out with other people that did it, that were stronger, more conscious, more self-respecting than me. Scary trends. This guy's right here, Florida. Very, very, very important guy in our government. I won't say who he worked with, but one of the most important people in our government in history. 5 heart attacks, 2 triple bypass stents, pacemakers, angiogram diagnosed, all arteries were blocked, heart transplant recommended. Blood pressure went from 136/79 to 96/68. September 2015, transplant group follow-up removed from transplant list. Now, this is not a common situation. Many people on the way to a transplant are going to get a transplant because their heart is gone at that point. The muscle is gone. But how many of these people have I seen? I can't remember. That's how many. How many have I people seen with kidney on their way to kidney dialysis? Can't remember. Removal of limbs. Can't remember. Eyesight gone. Can't remember. Now, give me the empirical evidence. Give me the money. Give me the same check you're giving to the people to do fraudulent science. I challenge you. We will give you the research. Not research you like, because I'm not selling a product. I'm selling you to you. That's what this entire real truth about the health is. We're teaching you to be in charge. You to be responsible. You to be the change agent. The only way anything ever changes is when you change. You have to learn the most easy word to articulate in any language. In the English language, it has 2 letters, no. No. I know it's difficult for most of you to say. Let's practice it here in this room. Do you want bad food? No. Do you want to get sick? No. Do you want to be dumb? No. See how easy it is? Exactly. Most people are not 2-year-olds, they're less than 2-year-olds. Here's a medical doctor. This is a great story. An Italian. How many of you are Italian and listening to me worldwide? Any Italians out there? I love your country. Bottom line is, this guy doesn't want to come to Hippocrates, period. If you probably pick the one guy in North America that really didn't want to come to us, this was the guy. But he has a really good friend, another Italian guy, who came to us, became a very close friend because he's watched what's happened at Hippocrates over decades now. And he said to this man who didn't need money, "You're not going to go? I'm going to pay for you and your wife to go." Now, the one way to intimidate somebody, especially a man, is say, "Okay, you're too cheap to go, I'm going to pay for you to go." "Oh, well then I'm going to go." "I don't got to pay." So he strolls in. I remember the first day he's listening. This must be a fraud here, Unbelievable changes. Blood pressure normalized, lost 50 pounds, 180 days. Cholesterol dropped from 180 points in 30 days down to normal. He went home. He put all of his patients on the program. I said, "How did they like it?" He said, "More than half of them left." Because the problem is not only the doctor, it's you. It's you. "Come on, doc, just give me the pill." Or you pay more, you go to the holistic guy, "Just give me the herbal pill." You don't really want to change. You're still looking for magic. There's no magic in this process. You don't take a pill and get better. You change the way you think, the way you eat, the way you move and exercise your body. You either change that or you stay sick, you get old, and you get decrepit, and then you complain. "Oh, if I only had different genes." That's what they try to convince you. "Oh, if you were genetically strong, you could eat salami and get away with it." No! Salami's bad for any genetic type. Genes have very, very little to do with your health. Here in the United States, we have you all dancing to the music. Canada, dancing to the music. We tell you, you go to the doctor, again, white coat, stethoscope. You ever notice they talk down to you? Who are you? They always confuse you because they're saying words you've never heard before. You go, and you look. And then they say to you, it's very serious. What is it? You don't know, but it's serious. You ever notice that? It's serious. And then all at once, you start to think about what these people said. Now, you think that's a positive thing for your health? When you think you have a serious problem, you don't know what it is, but it's serious. Then you go to your friends and you share, I don't know what he said, but here, oh God, that's very serious. They don't know what it is either. Go to the third friend, fourth friend, fifth friend, everyone's, now before you know it, it's bigger than the world. This is the most serious thing that's ever happened to any human in history. You get it? Now, what do you think that does to you? Horrible, horrible, horrible health. But the truth of the matter is, could you imagine going to a lifestyle medical doctor who was really well educated and who had empathy and compassion? Two things that really seemingly have nothing to do with health care, including natural health care today. At all. It's money and more money. That's what we get, not empathy and compassion. And that person said, I've worked with a lot of people who have had this problem before, and 80% of these people can actually reverse or prevent this problem if you change your diet, your attitude, and your exercise. Wow. You'd actually say, what did I pay him for? I knew that. Right? You may know it, but you're not doing it because you don't like the taste of food. And as soon as you don't like the taste of food, you find some doctor who agrees with you. Well, you said this, which I really don't want to do, but Dr. Schmahooke says eating the brains of fish will make me smart. So you go to the fish brain diet, or the paleo diet, or the Atkins diet. You follow me? These are all jokes. These are half-baked truths for lazy people who aren't willing to make changes. That's it. They're half-baked truths. They're not scientifically validated. As a matter of fact, they're scientifically challenged.